Welcome to the Snapshot. I'm Kari. This is the channel where we're going to talk about everything from sports to fashion to entertainment, movies, television, the whole works. So today we got some sports for you, and we're going to start off with just the wild carousel that has been the NBA offseason over the past couple days with all the trades, starting with the guy on your screen, Bradley Beal, former Washington Wizard. Now he's on the Suns with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton and company. I really like this move offensively, at least. I think, the three of them, Booker, Beal, and Durant combined average about 80 points per game. I mean, they put the ball in the basket. That's what they do. That's what they've always done, all three of them, their whole careers. KD, you can put him with anybody. You look at him on the Warriors. You look at him on the Nets. I mean, he plays with everybody. So I really like this move in terms of offensively. Defensively, I think this tremendously hurts the Suns. I mean, they already were weak defensively as it is. DeAndre Ayton already is in trade rumors. He's probably, likely to get shipped off sooner rather than later. And they only have 5 guys under contract, the 4 I mentioned plus campaign. And with the cap space that they have, they don't really have a lot of players to go after. So I look for this team to really build through either A, the draft, which, despite giving up some picks, you can always build through, or just going out for those old veterans who are looking, to win a championship now. And I think they could get a few guys for the vet minimum who, want to win a championship. But I look for the Suns to compete hard this year. They're going to be in the playoff picture, of course. And I look for them to get back to where they were at in 2021 and potentially, reach the finals. And, that segues me into my next big trade that happened over the past couple days, and that's Kristaps Porzingis, another Wizards player. You all are probably really familiar with him, the unicorn as they call him, a footer who can shoot from beyond the 3 line. I mean, he really spaces the floor. I think this is a really good pickup for Boston. They now have a 3-headed monster at the big man spot. I mean, you have Porzingis now, still keep Al Horford, a very savvy, crafty veteran who can also stretch the floor. And then they have Robert Williams down low who can bang with the best of them, and he's a great shot blocker. So I think this combination of bigs and size is really going to be something that Boston hasn't seen in recent years. I also think this opens up way more driving lanes for, your 2 stars, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Guys who look to get downhill, isolation basketball. I also think this is an incentive for Jaylen Brown to, sign that supermax of $295. Soon we're going to see guys, upwards $300 million plus, which is crazy to think, but it's going to happen sooner rather than later as well. But I overall, I think this is a good pickup for Boston. I think Porzingis will really help them when it gets deep into the playoffs. And, Giannis, Joel Embiid, some of those other bigs that you have to really worry about down low. I think Porzingis could help with that. But I also think the biggest key area is going to be key in is stretching the floor. Now for the third guy on this list, Marcus Smart, who was a part of that Kristaps Porzingis trade. As you know, it was a 3-team deal between the Wizards, Celtics, and the Grizzlies. So now Marcus Smart, who I know it probably hurts because he wanted to retire a Celtic. I mean, he said this was a gut-wrenching trade for him to go through. But, I mean, I think this is a perfect fit for him going to Memphis. I mean, Memphis is known for being that grit and grind city. You look back to the, mid-2000s Grizzlies teams with Zach Randolph, Tony Allen, Marc Gasol. I mean, he even kind of fits that Tony Allen type of role if you think about it. So I feel like he's going to go in there. You pair him alongside the Defensive Player of the Year this year, Jaren Jackson. He was the Defensive Player of the Year last year. And they have a really tough defensive squad now. I mean, that's going to be key for them when it gets down to the playoffs. They're a young team still. We saw it this year. They struggled defensively against the Lakers. And it cost them. It cost them. It's the reason they got bounced. So I think Marcus Smart is going to come in, ease that backcourt defensively, provide just a veteran presence that they need. I mean, even if you think about it, Ja's out for 25 games. This is their point guard that they could put in and say, look, go run the offense, manage the team, help the young guys, and just do what's needed of you until Ja gets back. And then when Ja gets back, I mean, I think this team, the sky's the limit, honestly. If you just look from Jaren Jackson, still have Steven Adams. They have a plethora of picks now that they received. I think if you look over the next few years, the Grizzlies are going to be there, and they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs sooner or later. And now that brings me to the most recent trade news, the news that just broke yesterday, and that is that Chris Paul would be joining the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is one that really surprised me. I'm not going to sit here and say I thought Chris Paul was going to end his career as a Wizard after the Brad Beal trade, but I didn't think he would go to the Warriors. I mean, the Warriors was one of the last teams I figured. And I'm curious. I'm really curious to see how this partnership is going to work. Now, on the Warriors part, I think they were a little hasty in getting rid of Jordan Poole. I mean, yes, he had a bad playoff run. I mean, he didn't play well against the Kings or the Lakers. But this is a guy you paid over $100 million. I mean, he's supposed to be one of the cornerstones of the future. And I think he was well on his way to doing that. He had a great playoff run the year before. It was a really intricate part in their finals run and a big part in why they actually won the championship. So for them to get rid of him, it seems a little premature, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how Chris Paul meshes. I mean, I think the fit is going to be fine. It's Chris Paul, future Hall of Famer, top 5 in assists. I mean, one of the best setup men in NBA history. He knows how to get the ball to where it needs to be, and with the shooters surrounding him that he has now, the ball is going to find them. I mean, Steph Curry, he's great off the ball. He's great on the ball, so I don't see how this hurts him. Same thing with Clay. Same thing with Draymond. And if Chris Paul can stay healthy, I think he's a really key piece for them. I think he really, really gets big minutes, will give you veteran presence, veteran skill set, just the knowledge of the game. And I just think this is a perfect place for him to end his career and for him to seek his first championship. I just had to scale up.